Hey everyone, thanks for your interest in this 501c3 nonprofit, Colorado I want to discuss what we are and what we've done in the past. My name is Ben Wolf. I was a school teacher at a local school in Colorado, more specifically at Castleview High School in Douglas County School District. And I continue this trip for the last 4 years. We've been doing this and took a little break with COVID, and now we are back. And I feel like this trip means so much to so many people here in Colorado and also outside in Ghana, Africa as well. And basically, Colorado to Ghana, we are the middleman. We connect students, young professionals, of adults that are teachers, parents, and Rotary Club members, anyone with a heart for service, and we connect them with the NGOs in Ghana, Africa. And we try to do meaningful work while giving experiences, especially for the students that go, that will be once in a lifetime for them and something they can remember for the rest of their lives. So let me get into it. I think pictures and videos are a much easier way to convey what we're all about. So I'm not going to go over every picture, but you get an idea of what we are. And here's why we do it. Here's why I feel like I need to continue this trip and do this.
And that was definitely a really cool experience, just to spend time with the kids and teach them cool hand games. A lot of them knew them already, so we just went around in circles playing, and it definitely was a great learning experience with the construction side of things, because we had to figure out where to put things, what color, just how to use our resources in the best way possible.
So just the interaction that students get with the kids over there in the villages that we work at, and also the hands-on experience they do. And the fundraising is huge too. We'll get into that later, but lots of things we do. And it's just hands-on work for sure. These are kids that are rescued from trafficking in Lake Volta, and they are rehabilitated at the Havdi Center through an organization called Challenging Heights. And these kids were given opportunity to make some designs with their hands, show that they had value and meaning in their life and the part of the rehabilitation process. So students came in and helped out with that. And also, this whole trip actually started with my mom taking students to Ghana, Africa, more specifically college students at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. And she actually made some really good connections there. And some of them are actually still appreciative of what she's done in the past. And here she is. And she's actually playing with a kid that was named after her and her late husband that did so much good work for this family that they named them Janan and Glenn. So it just kind of shows you that they really appreciate the things that we do for them, and the connections we can make is something that you'll have for the rest of your life. Moving on. So the idea here is I just want to give you a feel for what we're all about in terms of who we support over in Ghana, and give you a better idea of something hopefully that you'll get involved with. So there are basically three NGOs over in Africa that we know very well over the years, and we believe in what they do, and we want to support them with whatever we can. One of them is Holy Cross Hospital, run by Dr. Amusu. And we basically help them with medical supplies, and also trying to scale that up to medical equipment, as Dr. Amusu helps out community members that can't afford any medical care. So he has a big heart for service, needs help with funding. So we try to do our best to help him with that. Challenging Heights started out with James Kofi Annan. He was a trafficked kid himself, escaped the slavery over at Lake Volta, where they force kids into really harsh and very harsh conditions, dangerous conditions, to do fishing over there with some villagers that really do not have any appreciation for them other than for their work, because they literally bought them from families. So James escaped, taught himself how to read and write, and started challenging heights. You can look them up just like you can with Holy Cross Hospital and Issue as well. Anyways, we do a lot of things for them and try to work with the community to help to keep trafficking from happening in the future, as well as helping the kids that were trafficked in the past. Issue works with rural villages, and we're just trying to help them with whatever we can do to better the lives of those villagers. So we work with the chiefs specifically to make those decisions with clean water. Sanitation's a big deal over there, but also playground. We've done things like playground equipment and things such as bringing in some other supplies that could help benefit their schools, and try to work with even their medical conditions, like the medical supplies that they could do with their healthcare. All these things are really important for their villages, so we work with them on that as well. This is a video on Challenging Heights. It's a documentary. I'm just going to show a few minutes of it, but it's a very powerful documentary that I recommend you watching to get a feel for what Challenging Heights is all about.
Within the Adam, me did 12 years. Me ni baby me free. And the papa na me di 7, and the papa be a band na me mammy di bank to a be, and the menya when or their mammy to me di papa nature. At the quality tinting. And the papa named Minister Stephen here for both to confuse me. And soon, my dear, you and Kessel, you. Chinamsa than a dear son. Everything that's an uncle so to one and make my uncle's command their water. Papa, we are being a slave master.
So this is a documentary I highly encourage you to check out, so you get a feel for what they do. They do amazing work over there, and it's tragic, but it's also it's very enlightening to see what's going on over there, and also the good that's happening that came from James starting this organization, and we support them a ton. We also moving on, we get in touch with the kids there. So I just want to make sure we don't just think of this as a problem of we can just get into the complexity of all these kids and stats, but they are kids and they are resilient. It's amazing what they do.
My name is Elizabeth Mensah. I'm JHS2A. I want to be a doctor in future. Thank you.
These kids have very big hearts, very resilient, and we want to do what we can to help support them.
Welcome to class today. This is class today.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Now we are learning the omnipotence of God. And what is the omnipotence?
So we get into the classroom, we see what they need, we can do to support them. They understand how important education is, so that's number one on their list, to educate these kids as they rehabilitate them and get them ready to be productive citizens after all the things they've gone through. So we also support Issue, and I'm going to show just a little bit of a video no need to put the volume up for this one, but it's just going to show you an idea of like there's a village, one of the villages, many villages that issue supports. And what we did is we we worked with Joshua and Atta, who are members of, or the founders of Issue, and we wanted to support them. And they said Simbrofo needs clean water, and we needed to go, okay, well, can we see some things? So he literally went into the village to show us this. So here's him with his video recorder on his phone, just showing, okay, go into the village, and he's gonna show basically the conditions there, right? So you can see this is a village in Ghana that has very little sanitation, and that's the big problem they have right now with the clean water. And so fast forwarding a little bit, and we see that they need some help. And he showed a lake that has a lot of runoff, right? And this is the main problem they have. So this is where they get their clean water, not really clean, as you can see, and they use this for everything. If you just think about how much you use your water for, you can just get an idea of all the things this water would get, would be used. And you can see these are villagers going here to get their water. So what we did is we fixed that problem. We raised some money, and specifically a student at Regis High School, and she made sure that the community got clean water. So Simbrofo now has clean water because of a student's work. And she not only did that at her school to raise money, but she was with Joshua and Ada in person on the trip to see what her work was. So pretty cool to see what one student can do to make a huge difference. And another student, just an example of this, is some students were thinking about one student in particular was thinking of an Eagle Scout project. And we talked to Issue, and they said, well, there's another village that needs sustainable food. And that's something Eagle Scout project would work with. So he worked on funding everything. And by the time we got there, we had supplies to work on, a chicken coop. So part of the sustainable farm, which is all around you, is like getting the land ready, which is something we couldn't do, which would take months and months of work. We at least put in the work to work on the chicken coop. And presently they have sustainable food that supports their village due to this student's Eagle Scout project. So it's really diverse in the type of work that we can do with Issue. And it's so fun because every trip is different. Every trip is different. And, everything we do, we get to see. So Castleview High School, where I used to teach at, raised enough money to build another addition to the school that helps educate the kids trafficked from Lake Volta. The students on the right were all on that trip and got to be at that classroom to see that it was built. And we actually painted the shelter that's shown below while we were there as well. So really, like, anything we do is really hands-on, and you can see the money is directly related to what we're trying. We can see it. It's tangible. James actually came to our school, a couple schools, to talk about his experience at Challenging Heights. And so he flew in to see everyone, which was really cool of him. And we did a lot of great things with both organizations. So you can see the kids, they just love the interaction with the students. They do a lot of great things. We support the families, the communities there with whatever we can. There's Dr. Amusu at his hospital on the roof where we took a picture, and we brought in tens of thousands of dollars worth of medical equipment on our trip to support him. We're even in the news. So one student from Ghana happened to be at Castleview High School, learned of what the student's situation was at home, and before he graduated was gifted something special for his village.
The end of school for a lot of students here in Colorado, and that means a new chapter for seniors graduating and moving on.
A senior at Castleview High School has a hard chapter ahead, but a group of his classmates worked for months to make it a little easier. Denver 7's Sean Toll has the story.
As another school year comes to a close, Castleview High students are at senior awards. Years of work, waiting to hear their name called. But one student isn't expecting to hear his name called because of months of work by his classmates.
Guys, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so huge. This whole project started off in a class called Futurology. And Futurology is mainly about just finding something you're passionate about.
Junior Caroline O'Connor and a group of students were in search of a passion until one day,
We had a teacher come and do a presentation about how a foreign exchange student attending Castleview doesn't have clean water back home from Ghana.
It's so random, right? Like, how does someone from Ghana come in here?
We jumped right onto the whole project.
Teacher Bedwolf also runs a nonprofit that takes students to Ghana to work on projects to help villages.
There's very little there.
The students work to bring clean water to Dramani Ayuba's village.
Oh, heck yeah, guys, let's go.
They connected with a nonprofit to find filtration systems, raised money,
Your aunt donated last night
and bought supplies.
50 life straws, 30 nanotech technology tubes that you put water in, you connect it to a bucket, and then the water filters through. This is just a short-term solution. Like, this is only gonna last them 6 or 7 years.
It's a solid start, and Dramani had no idea what this group was doing.
We're going to surprise him. He's never met us, and we've never met him.
I'm kind of nervous.
Which brings us back to the senior awards.
So, Dramani, would you please come join us?
And Dramani's turn to hear his name called.
We would like to present you and your home community with a way to obtain clean water and the means of filtration system that you will be able to travel home with in this suitcase.
So overwhelming. Like, I can't express how I'm feeling now. Like, I wasn't expecting anything like that.
Clean water, new friends, and a high school diploma. Safe to say, his world has changed.
So these kinds of experiences, students are able to get through this trip, and it just goes on and on and on with what we've done in the past, and it just keeps getting better every year, I feel like. So, you know, the experiences, not only are, you know, the volunteer work we do and all the things that we believe in, but also the experiences of just seeing the beauty of Ghana. And we go on canopy tours, we check out, we go to a slave castle to see the history of Ghana, and we look at we go into the villages and learn how to cook. We learn how to use their authentic cloth and how to decorate it and make it into the clothing they want. They get these experiences that you're just not going to get anywhere else. It's very authentic, very real, very fun. Some students got into it enough to make some videos. This one was from a few years ago. Very cool. We can check it out. pretty cool stuff. So some of these students just want to, spread the word. So they're talking about the next year, which, we did the sustainable farm. Things are coming on up. We're doing great. Just to get an idea of what some students have said about the trip, here's a couple interviews I wanted to share with you too.
My favorite part of the trip was probably seeing all of the kids and stuff while we were working at the 2 different NGOs that we went to. I really enjoyed seeing how they reacted to what we were doing. So when we were painting the school at Challenging Heights, they kept sticking their hands out of the windows and trying to talk to us and stuff as we were trying to paint. And the same thing was happening when we were at Issue. We were trying to paint and stuff, and all of the kids kept coming up and trying to see what we were doing and trying to interact with us, and that was just adorable.
Statistic was interesting to me this trip, and that was 80% of kids are economically active. So before and after school, if they even do go to school, they are selling goods, their parents' goods, to support their families. And because of that truth that is in Ghana, that unfortunate truth, they don't have time to make friendship bonds like we are able to in America before and after school. They're not able to go out and play. So at school is the only time when they can be together and they can be as one and make friends and build a community.
You can't explain it. You have to experience it for yourself. And it's really true. Everybody has their own experience on the trip because of what we're doing and the work that we're doing. I was talking to a student today, and she wasn't going to come, and her best friend that came along had really kind of convinced her to come. And I asked her about that. I said, why weren't you going to come? And she said, I didn't think I was the right person for doing something like this. I just didn't feel like I was the right person. And she was so wrong. I got lucky enough to be with her during the week on the projects. And it was so cool to see her and the other students I was working with kind of evolve. And really, I could just tell they were finding something within themselves that they didn't realize they had. And this student in particular she's got a very artistic ability, and she was painting this mural for the kids. And she just was so dedicated to it. She wasn't going to eat lunch. She wasn't going to take a break until she got this done. And she had swarms of kids around her watching this. And it was so cool to see this whole experience happen.
And it all comes down to students such as yourself giving back and showing that they have a heart for service. And we're hoping to get more and more students from all over the area to be a part of this organization and see how much you can do for others. And you'll see how much impact you have, that it has on yourself, and the relationships you have with the other students that go. These experiences will last a lifetime. So I invite you to reach out to us. Our info is on coloradotoghana.org, or you can just send a quick email, coloradotoghana@gmail. We'd love to hear from you. We'll share some more stories. We've got some great projects on the way for the next trip, and we're looking for more students with a heart for service. So hopefully that'll be you. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks for listening.
All right, so there you go. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. There is no other trip like this. You won't find any other place in the United States that does this type of trip. So I encourage you to reach out, get more information, and see if this is a good fit for you. You can see our information is below, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.